why the Japanese are not fat. Now we gotta figure out why Koreans are so slim. It's gotta be similar. It's probably similar, I'd imagine, but
About why Koreans stay so thin. So if you don't like these kind of topics about weight and
let's see.
bodies, please click out right now. Hi guys, my name is Anna and I've been kind of wanting to do this video for a while because I show you like Korean food, the stuff that I eat around Seoul and stuff, and people ask me,
A lot of the meat that you eat seems really fatty, and you guys eat a lot of rice. How do you stay thin?
I get
She was in my right ear. Y'all heard that? Just me?
ask these kind of questions. So today I'm going to talk about from a Korean's perspective why I think Koreans stay slim compared to other countries in the world. Just for anyone who
this is
doesn't
all
know my
over.
background, I'm Korean. I was born in Korea, but I went to study in the UK from about the age of 7. And I basically grew up flying back and forth between UK and Korea. And so that was kind of my childhood and how I grew up. And I've traveled quite a bit in Europe, in America, and other parts of Asia. So I do have some sort of idea of how people eat. So yeah, let's talk about this. A study done in 2019 shows that out of 20 OECD countries, half of the adult population were overweight.
Wait, what is this? Measured overweight. Men, women. Japan, Korea. OECD. The fuck is OECD? Dang, United States. All the way up there. Mexico. But we all know Mexican food will do that to you. Mexican food will do that to you. It's too good. It tastes too good. So Japan's
Or
better
obese
than
in 17 of these countries. And for Mexico, Chile, and the United States, this proportion exceeded 70%. Meanwhile, in Japan and Korea, fewer than 35% of adults were overweight or obese. I know a lot of you who watch my channel are interested in Korea due to K-pop and K-dramas and K-media, and you guys know most
Me.
people in Korea are of a certain slim build. So let's talk about a typical
like that.
Korean meal. It consists of a bowl of rice, usually around 200 grams of rice, and usually some sort of soup that has stock and vegetables. Side dishes called panchan, and they're usually vegetable panchan dishes made of sprouts or radish or other things, and then usually some sort of meat dish for the protein. Not to say that all Koreans eat all 3 meals in this traditional Korean
Oh, for a second, I thought she was talking about this being all in one meal. I was about to
way
say.
because nowadays we have food imported from all over the world, so there's a lot more Western food out there that people eat too. KFC, Burger King, chocolate, candy, all that stuff does exist, but I would just also say stuff like kimbap, like seaweed roll with vegetables and some sort of proteins inside. Eating that on the go really quick is still somewhat healthier than eating a burger with chips because it's all fried, greasy, trans fats heavy
Chips.
food. I also noticed on my travels, whenever I went to America, I just get so shocked at the portion sizes that they give out. And I used to live in London, and London is not one of the thinnest
It's always the portion sizes.
places in the world either. But even coming from London to America, it was a shock to me at the different portion sizes. The average meal at a restaurant in Korea is simply less calories than a meal in America would be. My dad, for example, he prefers eating just traditional Korean food. He doesn't really like cheese, fried stuff. He likes just simple rice with meat and some sort of other vegetable. We also eat quite a bit of seafood like raw fish, sashimi, and also many people just don't eat 3 meals a day. I don't eat 3 meals
Raw
a day.
fish.
A lot of my family doesn't eat 3 meals a day, and I would just say on the whole we just eat more whole foods compared to more processed snacky junk food. Like for example, giving a Pop-Tart to your kid as a breakfast option is simply not imaginable.
Oh my god. That's actually so bad. When you say it like that, when you really put it in perspective.
Most Koreans would view that as like child abuse or like sugary cereals. They taste amazing, but it's just not nutritious and it should not be the first thing that you feed to your kid in the morning. Also, one thing that I don't really see many people mention is that the use of ovens in kitchens is much less used in Korean households than in other Western countries. Most Korean recipes actually don't require the use of an oven. We do everything on the electric or gas stove and everything is kind of pan fried or steamed. I see loads of people in America, they're
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Always baking, cupcakes, brownies, pizzas, or like pasta bakes. But in Korea, we don't do much of that at all, so much less baking. That could be one of the reasons. I'm going to show you some pictures of what a traditional school lunch would look like in Korea. Just very typical Korean school lunches compared to, let's say,
Oh, we're doing so bad. I knew it was gonna be some bullshit when I seen that. So all these countries just got better school lunches than us. Look at this bullshit. Look, bang. This is what they eating, and this is what we eating.
American school lunches. I know there's like a lot of talk and debate about American school lunches too, but generally in Korea, like I said, we have less
Shit
cheese,
ass.
less fried. A lot of Asians are actually lactose intolerant. Not many of us can actually stomach dairy all that well. And for me, if I have rice at home, I actually have a lot of brown rice, hungmipap also, which is like black rice. And those options are slightly more healthier and better for you
Black
than
rice.
just plain white rice. Also, another thing that I think is a difference, when Korean people eat out together, we will just share everything. Obviously, Korean barbecue, there's like a big thing in the middle. You just take bits of the meat and you share. But if I go with like two girlfriends, we usually will split, either get 2 or 3 dishes and we will split between the 3 of us. So we get a chance to have a taste of everything. I know this is much less common in the UK or the US. You order what you want to eat and then you stick to your plate and everybody just eats off their plate. But in Korea, it's like, we want to taste the entire menu. So we will just put everything kind of in the middle and then you get a chance to taste everything. And I feel like in this way, you might end up consuming less as well, or more depending. I feel like when you know how to share food from a young age, maybe that gets you to be less like greedy about your food. That could possibly have an impact. But basically, I think the portion sizes
We might have to do a study about that.
was one of the biggest things in terms of this subject. Overconsumption of anything is just not good, not healthy, and we should kind of take it upon ourselves to control that. And this kind of leads on to my next point, which is a country like Korea is a much more collectivist society and much less individualistic. You naturally tend to care more what other people will think of you and your actions. Obviously, a collectivist society has its good sides and obviously its bad sides too. So
Just
I don't
about
want
to
to
say
get too
that.
much into that. But yeah, I guess we do care about how we present ourselves to others, and there are just more certain rules that we follow that is just seemed appropriate, and just letting yourself go to the point where you have health issues and stuff that is not seen as appropriate or acceptable. So that's another reason. You guys know I own my own online store, nalvashop.com. This is an issue that I frequently have. A lot of the Korean clothes that I
W promo.
stores, especially for things like tops, usually comes as one size because most Korean women are of a similar slim, small build. This one size will fit the majority of the population. So there is a certain kind of weight expectation. And once you go beyond that, if you can't fit into the Korean one size clothing, then most Korean women will think like, okay, now it's time for me to cut back and watch what I'm eating and do more exercise. And lookism, most people in the world, when they view an attractive person, they will automatically also assume that that person is intelligent, capable, successful, sociable, good personality. They associate all these things when they see a good looking person, and this happens in all countries. Apparently it's just like a thing that humans do. This is why K-pop idols are adored also. Not that they're not talented and successful and all that, but because also their looks help. That's why in Hollywood, actors and actresses are beautiful people. It's literally part of their job to look good, so they can also appear to be all these things, and it helps them make more money. And
Basically, celebrities make people want to look skinny.
Koreans telling each
That's
other,
what I
oh,
just
you're kind
learned.
of letting yourself go, is much less taboo compared to other countries. Obviously, it depends on
sense,
how
though.
you deliver this information. Just pointing at someone and laughing and being like, haha, you're fat, you're a piggy. That's like the dumbest way you can kind of deliver that message to someone. All that's going to do is just hurt them. But if you're genuinely looking out for a friend and they're saying, I don't feel comfortable or confident in myself
You fat fuck.
these days, then as a
That's
friend you can
basically what
say,
she just
hey,
said.
I think you can also do this diet plan, you can go to the gym, you can start doing this. Telling each other this kind of things is much less taboo. And most Koreans are uncomfortable with the idea of being overweight, and they don't consider something to be proud of. And since Korea is such a hustle culture, there's an emphasis on hard work, discipline, delaying gratifications, delaying the pleasures until a later point where you can enjoy it properly. So because there is such an importance placed on hard work and discipline, people also view looking after your diet and working out as an important part of someone's character as well. Also, just not sugarcoating the fact that it can get very toxic sometimes because it gets taken a lot overboard. But generally in Korea, laziness is kind of a cultural taboo, and there's much more
Hey, actually, the one Japan's different. I mean, that guy said people just don't. A lot of people don't have memberships. A lot of people don't be going to the gym. But she's saying people like going to the gym here.
of a hustle culture here that kind of bleeds into everything. Also, because people work so much, I would say aside from water, the drink that is most consumed other than water is probably coffee, and especially black iced Americano. That is probably the number one drink sold in Korea, maybe apart from like soju. But other than that, black coffee and the amount of calories in an iced Americano
Soju.
is 15 calories, which is basically nothing. Whereas compared to if you drink a vanilla latte, let's say, on average 290 calories around there. So basically if you drink Americanos, people can carry on working without worrying about have I overconsumed my calories today. I think in terms of weight management, not drinking your calories is a big thing. I remember I went into a 7-Eleven when I was in LA and I was shocked at the soda station. The plastic cups, basically like half this. People were drinking not even like 0-calorie sodas, but like full fat, full sugar sodas as big as my head, and I was shocked. Also, Korean mukbangers are huge on YouTube, but I know a lot of them do so much to compensate for the fact that they're doing those mukbangs. Either they spit it out, or that's like the only meal they've eaten in like 3 days.
No, nah. Mukbang. I should do one. I'm gonna do one soon. I'm gonna do one soon.
Or they exercise like 8 hours a day. Korean
Spitting
mukbangers
out
are
food
not
is
the norm.
crazy.
Most people do not eat like that. I personally eat 2 meals a day. I'm at the gym basically every day unless there's a reason I can't go. For me, I work out because I genuinely enjoy it. But also, this is another thing. I think the Korean fitness industry has grown so much over the past few years compared to when I was like a teenager. It was much less prominent. Body profiles is a trend in Korea that really boosted the fitness industry thing. A body profile, by the way, in case any of you don't know, it's like a photo shoot that you just organize, that you pay for. You get into like the most cut, most defined, lean shape of your life. It's not just about looking thin, but you have to look muscular and lean. So you have to be on a very strict diet. You have to micromanage your macros
What is that?
and lean. So you have to be on a
What is this? Is this mustard? No. What is this?
very strict diet. You have to micromanage your macros, and the purpose of this is just for, yeah, I guess, your self-satisfaction. The fact that you can say, oh, I've done this, I worked really hard for this, and then you can also look back on it when you're old and wrinkly and be like, hey, there was a time in my life in my 20s when I looked this good. So people do it for this reason. But also, if you're living in Seoul, you genuinely don't need to have a car. The public transport is probably one of the best systems in the world. It's cheap, it's convenient, it's clean, it has Wi-Fi, it's air conditioned. Also in New York, people use public transport, but I know in basically other parts of America, it's much more of a car culture. And obviously when you're driving in a car most of the time for your commutes, unless you're actually carving out time to go to the gym and do some exercise, you're not actually moving your body much at all. And here's another statistic.
True.
The world's most and least active
Most and least active countries. Somebody walking. Oh. GG's. Indonesia. Damn, Indonesia's the least. But they weren't on the most fat though. China makes sense.
countries. And this is a study done by Stanford University, and Korea is up in the top 4 in terms of how many active steps you take throughout the day. I think that has a large part to do with the public transport because you're constantly walking up and down stairs. And I think 10,000 steps per day is what's meant to be like the best optimal for health. So walking is a big part in most Koreans' daily routines. Korea is also very hilly. There's a lot of mountains. People go hiking a lot. And some parts of like Itaewon, some neighborhoods are really hilly and steep. So even just walking around those areas can be a workout. But I'm not gonna lie, I would just say probably one of the biggest things as to what keeps Koreans slim is just the pressure and the fact that just simply fat acceptance is not acceptable.
So basic pressure. We gotta start bullying people. I think that's what
Diet
she's saying.
programs, diet
That's
supplements,
basically what she's
diet
talking about.
foods are being advertised to you all the time. Weird face massagers that are meant to make your face slim. But one other thing I should say also, I find it a lot more easier to kind of eat clean or be on a diet in Korea compared to the UK. I can find a lot of diet substitutes. I've eaten stuff like konjac popcorn, which is like very filling, but it's not high in calories. I'm also a sucker for 0-calorie sodas. Sparkling water, that's like flavored. I love those. I do like things like donuts and pastries, but I definitely do not eat them on a daily basis. Ultimately, if we're just talking about what makes you gain weight or lose weight, what matters is not necessarily what you eat. Like, there are people in Korea who eat a lot of junk food, but ultimately what is important is your daily overall calorie consumption. I could be eating just McDonald's hamburgers a day, but if I kept to a certain calorie number, I could just be either maintaining my weight or like losing even. I probably won't look as muscly or toned, but if I kept to that calorie consumption every day, then I
But,
definitely won't be
yeah,
gaining
that's
weight.
true.
At the end of the day, it's the number
Slim, skinny, but unhealthy.
of calories that determines whether you're going to lose or gain weight. That's simply it. So if you want to lose some weight, what you have to do is eat less calories and burn more. That's why Koreans, and I'm sure the same goes for Japanese people, we are slimmer than the rest of the world simply because we consume
just watched
less
that video.
calories. That's it. I know Korea can be very extreme and toxic as well. I'm not denying that at all. I thought that this would make a good video topic because many people do ask me about it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
This is a good video. Skin treatments that are... Oh. Might have to watch more of her stuff in the future. What they talking about in the comments? No fast food, no. Korean exchange student gained 15 pounds. Oh. She got straight to the point. We like that. We like that.